So I had a plan, and I was executing that plan. Then,
my name is Diane, and I'm car camping around the U.S. Northwest. Last time, I was looking for a shady spot to take a much-needed lunch break. My challenge was to figure out where to wild camp before it got too dark in a national forest hundreds of miles away that I'd never been to before. And along the way, things got weird.
day use area, no overnight camping. I see tables in the shade by the lake.
Okay, so I just hustled my patootie over to that table in the shade with my big old cooler to secure it, because it's like 10:30 in the morning and people are starting to show up for the day. Boy, did this come in handy in an unexpected way. Yeah, I thought I'd just be using it in the car, but it was fantastic for these nasty picnic tables. So, I'd been up since 4:45 a.m. after a tossy-turny night and a sketchy roadside pullout. I'd been driving for hours exploring cool towns in central Washington already, and I'd sadly run over a chipmunk along the way, so I was a little stressed, tired, and needed some chill time before going on. I had miles to make and still had to figure out where I was going to sleep that night.
It was advertised as a non-stick pan. Not true.
This whole trip, the weather had been so hot, and dealing with the summer heat in the car had been a challenge. So I'd often seek out a pretty park to rest and make food, which turned out to be a great strategy for me.
These rocks really hurt.
That is so typical. I think it's time for this. It's so good. And it's so nice to have a cold beer in this heat that I almost forgot to share it with you. So this is the Icicle Brewing Company in Leavenworth, and it is German chocolate cake ale. It's a really great summer dessert beer. It does have a hint of chocolate, comes in at the finish. It has some body, but it's not heavy like a stout. It's sweet, so it's reminiscent of cake. And, oh, that's a big old floaty coming by. It's just a good summery beer. Oh my God, you gotta look at this thing. It looks pretty super deluxe. So after all that work, cleaning the windows, I come back to the car and there's sprinklers sprinkling it, which means now all whatever dirt that was on the car ran down onto the windows, and they are no longer clean. There's spots. So after all that work, there are spots. So I'm sorry, and it's too hot to clean them now. It's just too hot. So hopefully you'll still enjoy the video. Oh, it's a deer. Hello, little deer. You see the deer? She's running away. Oh, look at that hop. One of the reasons I was worried about getting to my camp spot on time is that I'd picked an alternative route that took me through some of the northernmost areas of Washington state. And I did this because there were a bunch of small towns I was really excited to see, because I was thinking maybe I might want to move there.
All right, we are in Chesaw.
Chesaw wasn't even on my radar, but its setting is absolutely spectacular in this beautiful valley. I'm not sure the real population because it's not incorporated, and so estimates vary. I would guess a few hundred people just by looking at the amenities. They had a farm stand, a flea market, a rodeo arena, and of course a tavern, a gas station, a school, and that's about it. Beautiful place, but probably a little too remote for me.
Welcome to Canada. What? Are like right there on the side of the road. Little baby
cabs. They're just like, it's hot and it's shady here. Just all over the place.
People often ask me how I find free camping, and it's really not that hard. I look at a map at a place I want to go, and then I'll look for national forest around it. Then I use an app called iOverlander. I mean, there's others, but I ended up using that one the most. And I basically look for spots in that area that people have already marked out. Sometimes there aren't that many, and you'll see a good road and go down it and end up finding a great camping spot that way. So you have to be a little bit adventurous and be willing to go off the beaten path.
We are entering Republic.
Okay, I had high hopes for Republic because it was far enough away from a major city but seemed to have a lot of amenities and a cute downtown, which you know I love. So it had a nice local supermarket, a brewery, and local coffee, which were right across the street from each other, an outdoor store, hardware, houseware, some cute inns, a museum, churches, a feed store, and some nice neighborhoods with pretty mountain views. But the vibe was pretty rustic. There didn't seem to be much high mountain hiking around, and although it'd be fun to explore more, I don't think I could ever get Ted to move there.
Am I in the right direction? I don't know, actually. The grocery store has a bulletin board. That's old school. I love it. So I stopped at this market in Republic to get some kind of like coffee drink because I was feeling drowsy and I got a lot of miles, so blah blah blah. I need a boost. Get back into the car, and I'm apologizing to all my belongings for having them like sit too long in the heat because everything's getting hot, hot, hot. I'm starting to talk to the Jackery like it's a person, like it's my baby in the back. I mean, it is in the seatbelt because, you know, if I have to stop suddenly, I do not want my Jackery flying around. That thing is too precious. Yeah, and then I started talking to the blanket, like, oh, blanket, I'm so, I mean, it's just, I don't know, I've maybe been alone for a few too many days, and now I'm talking to the things in my car. My car needs a name. You know, I've never been a person to name my vehicles. I know a lot of people do it. I've always thought it's kind of silly, but big time YouTube guru Daryl Leaves says, if you're spending a lot of time in a vehicle, you gotta name it for YouTube because the vehicle becomes a character in your show. So this old Acura that I'm living in is character in my show and it needs a name. We bought it in Puerto Rico, so I feel like it needs some kind of Puerto Rican Latin reference. If you have an idea for a Puerto Rican inspired name for this car, please put it in the comments. I'm open to ideas. The other thing I need probably is some kind of mascot, you know? Like a lot of people have a dog or a cat, and I can't have a dog or a cat. That's just way too much complexity in a hot car. So I was thinking I should pick up a something and start talking to it. You know, like on Keep Your Daydream, when they did Route 66, they picked up that Gary the something, and he totally became a character. Maybe I need to find a bobblehead thing for the dash. Maybe I need a fluffy kitty or something. A bear. I don't know, a bear, that's so... But I feel like I need something that I can legitimately talk to besides my Jackery. So if you have ideas for that, let me know, because I feel like I'm going to crazy town in here. So many pretty mountains. I love this part of the country. Oh, and the other thing, you know how a few videos back I was looking for a little camping lantern? That was my aesthetic, so that I can like put it next to my little fake plant on my camping table and have it look all cool and Instagram-y. Well, I didn't exactly find a lantern, but what I found was a little yellow glass citronella candle with a handle on it, like a lantern-y handle. And it's deep enough in the glass that I don't think it'll blow out if I light it, and it supposedly gets rid of mosquitoes. I don't know. It was only $4.79, and it's the right look. So now I'm going to have to find a reason to set up my little aesthetic cheese and cracker spread It's gonna be amazing looking, and you're all gonna think, oh, this gar camping is so glamorous. That's our job on YouTube, to be glamour queens. Okay, now I'm just babbling because I don't have anyone else to talk to. I should be filming this, but I'm not because I'm not paying attention.
Around this time, I realized I was rushing too fast through this gorgeous landscape.
Oh, there's a bunny. I don't know if I can see it. Hold on, let me try to zoom in. Little bunny. Wait, can I find it? Oh, I can't see it through my dirty windshield. I can see it with my eyes. Where is it on the camera? Oh, there's the bunny. There's the bunny. So cute. I sped past a couple of really good overlooks, and then I was like, oh, wait. What's my big hurry? I need to stop at some of these. So I said to myself, we're stopping at the next overlook. I don't know what it is. And Self said, okay, let's check it out. Well, that was pretty, wasn't it? But you know, there's always a story behind the story. So half the time I was out there, I was being like aggressively followed by this giant, buzzy, biting fly. I mean, it acted like a bee, but then when it landed on something, I could see it was like this giant fly, and I know that it bites because at some point I'm like, why am I running from this fly? I mean, yeah, it was behaving aggressively like I was in its territory and chasing me and circling me. But then I'm like, it's a fly. So I'm trying to take a picture of something, and I'm like, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore this buzzy, scary fly. And it lands on me and bites me. So that's how I know it bites. Finally, I got away from it once I got halfway around the trail. And then I was like, oh, I should get some footage of this thing because, you know, for the story behind the story. So I put the big camera away, I get the iPhone, and I go back to take, you know, to that part of the trail where it was like chasing me. And of course it's gone. It's gone, so I can't get you any footage of the mean fly that's trying to bite me. But I did get this cool ladybug footage, so here you go.
So I did not have high hopes for Kettle Falls as a place I want to move to because we'd driven through a few years before, and
well, it's very sleepy / I would say almost dead, except the pub and grill. Not much going on except at Ralph's Tavern. But yeah, I don't think I'll be moving here. That's just me.
so I continued on to the next town on my hit list.
Okay, we are entering Colville. Fancy sign. I like it. We want to see the city center, because that's how we judge a town. Safeway. Oh my god, that 10-pound block of ice, that thing is the best.
Colville, population 4965, actually looked pretty nice. It was a little sleepy, but they had the flowers downtown and some redevelopment going on. They also had some outdoor dining and a handful of local coffee places and breweries. And there was a national forest nearby. So this was a place I could maybe think about living.
It's a cute little house. It's like cottage style, kind of a fixer, but with an amazing views of that mountain.
And the talking to myself continued.
So, here we go. I need to come up with a new throwaway line. Let's get to it. Yahoo! Yeehaw! Maybe that should be my throwaway line. Yeehaw! Yeah! staying cool, Jackery? You're good.
So I was still talking to the Jackery, myself, everything in the car. The day was winding down and I really needed to find that camp spot soon, but there was one town left to see.
Chewelah. Here we are.
I had the highest hopes of all for Chewelah, population 2442. It looked like a small cute town with these gorgeous big mountains towering above, hiking and skiing nearby with local coffee and brews, and not too far from where one of our daughters lives in Newport, Washington. This little town checked a lot of boxes and it felt to me like an undiscovered gem.
Look at that mountain at the end of the street. That is so beautiful. Chewelah will entertain you. I guess that's the theater. That's cool. They have one. Fancy side of town. It's cute. This place has potential. There is my gas station of choice. It's $4.83. They always seem to need gas. Oh my gosh, it is so hot. I know I keep saying that. I'm so sorry. I was at the gas station and literally as I was standing there putting gas in the car, I just felt like my legs were gonna burn up. I got that heat rash at the Ajuna concert and I was like feeling like it was gonna come back, like if I stood in the sun for a minute longer. I almost left that gas station without remembering to wash the windows. I was about to drive away, got into my air-conditioned car, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta clean these things so that y'all can have a better view. So, suffered in the sun for a few more minutes for the sake of better videos. I don't mean to sound complainy or anything, because I love being out here. I love exploring. What the heck was that? I do like sharing some of the behind the scenes of trying to be a YouTuber out on the road, because people make it seem so beautiful, and I try to as well. I try to make it beautiful. I want it to be beautiful because it is beautiful, but I also like to share some of the realities of it kind of sporadically. All right, so we are headed out of town. I found a spot in Overlander that's kind of off this road. So we're gonna go try to find that spot or a spot up there somewhere where we can just pull over and sleep for free, because you know me, I'm cheap. It's time to find a campsite for the night. I love hunting for campsites. We are here, I think, at the optimum time. Wildflowers around, the grass is green, and that light, okay. It's just trees, but look at the light on the tops of the trees. Want a view? Give me a view. Want a view? Come on, give me a view. It's kind of a view. Okay, so I had a plan, and I was executing that plan. Then I passed this Forest Service road on the right alongside a creek that looked really well developed. So I thought, let me check this out, because when the Forest Service road is really well taken care of, I'm finding that often leads to good camping. So hold on, there's some signs to read here. Okay, this is all the usual stuff. There was nothing on Overlander about it, but I kind of like finding new places. So I'm just gonna drive down this road. Apparently, according to Google Maps, this road connects back up with the highway. So, you know, if it doesn't work out, do that. This would be a good time to have my Delorme, which is a satellite device, so I could text Ted from the middle of nowhere via satellite and tell him, hey, I've changed my plan. Because I gave him the coordinates for the other thing I was gonna do, but I did say I'd be in the vicinity of these coordinates, so hopefully nothing goes wrong. Okay, I've turned around because this is the first thing I've passed, and it's pretty big, but it's getting dark, and I think it'll do nicely. So I just need to position myself for a quick getaway if I need to make one. Yes, we have a campsite, and it's 73 degrees. Let me show you around. It's the first thing I found. I don't want to keep looking or go too far away from the highway, so
This will be mine for the night. Whoa, skulls. More bits here. Hopefully an animal, not a person. All right. I don't think I've ever done this in front of you before. It's a pillow over here. It's a hat. Oh, the plant goes here because it's cute. It goes here. Lean forward as far as it goes. This is how I keep my flexibility up, crawling around my car. This blanket goes here. Pillow here. It's shoved in the side. It's a bird. I'm listening for bears. All right, I fold out my mattress, which just basically leans on this thing. My blankets and sheath. So blankets here, duvet on it. Everywhere I've gone, I should say. Let me make sure that looks good, because if the aesthetic is off. Okay, wait, let me make this cuter. Yes, our job on YouTube is to make these alternate lifestyles look cute. Let me put the fuzzy side up so that you'll want to watch more of these videos. Accent color. Pillow chop. Yes, our bed is ready. Okay, this is what it's all about. Sitting in 75-degree weather with an aesthetic backdrop, eating dark chocolate in the middle of the woods with nobody else around except the birds and a few bugs, but that's what bug spray's for. It smells so good out here. Like pine trees and flowers, and it's just the sweetness in the air. These moments, we have to treasure them. I may have dipped into Crazy Town today, but I saw a lot of cool places in one of the most beautiful areas of the United States that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot. Next time, I'm going to give you a complete tour of my car camping setup and let you know what I like and don't like after living in it for 2 weeks.